The day that she was diagnosed, we knew at that point something was wrong. We had already had one child on the spectrum and one not. It's something like 25% increase in chances of having another child on the spectrum if you already have one. She was very colicky. We were missing milestones on the paperwork at the doctor, and we had already been through this. And then I was at the doctor's office and I saw a note that said, if you have a child on the spectrum or no history, that Marcus was doing this new study where they would follow a child from birth through the first 3 years of life. And so I looked into it and I called and they let me know, and it gave us our green light to go ahead because we knew the value of early intervention, and we knew that we would be in the best possible hands, which is Marcus Autism Center. We started at Marcus when she was 2 weeks old. They did eye tracking. She was in a little car seat and she watched videos. And then throughout the video, I was also in a sound box, so she would hear my voice and me talking to her as well. So that's how it started, and it obviously progressed from there.
When Piper was 12 months old, she was identified in our research program here for showing some early signs and vulnerabilities of having autism spectrum disorder. So autism spectrum disorder is a social communication disorder, also defined with restricted interests, repetitive behaviors. So Piper's language was not where we wanted to see her expressive language to be. So kind of how she was communicating with the world around her, we wanted to build up those skills. And we also wanted to build up kind of her play and her flexibility, so to speak. So we really did focus on kind of her everyday activities.
Good job.
Great memory. We would practice with like snack times and music times and play times. And one of the wonderful pieces of our program was that Piper was able to be in this play group here at Marcus that had children that were not displaying vulnerabilities of an autism spectrum disorder, so she was able to learn from her peers as well.
At her 2-year assessment, she was still ruled too many red flags to take her off of the spectrum. So we continued every day with all of the tips and tricks and all of the tools that Chris had taught us. And it was a lot of work, and Piper worked very hard. She didn't have the typical childhood. She was putting in the work every day. But then by her 3rd birthday, they said they still saw some social vulnerabilities, and those were things that we continued to work on, but that Piper was thriving. Piper worked incredibly hard with an incredible team, to where on her 3rd birthday, it was announced that she was no longer showing signs of being on the autism spectrum.
Who is she? My best friend.
Your best friend. She is living a very typical life now, and that is 100% because of her time spent with Marcus. And knowing that she has this wide open, clear, blank slate to live her life through is a pretty incredible thing, and I think that's what makes her a miracle child. She's a true product of early intervention.